let's talk about Nat King Cole. So how were you approached about the role? And tell us what drew you to the show.
Years ago, like this is like in 2016, I had ran into Patricia McGregor, who was the co-writer and director of the piece. I ran into her at a opening of a play that she had directed in LA. And then she had connected with Coleman Domingo, who's the co-writer. And then Coleman reached out to me to see if I would be interested in playing Nat King Cole. And my initial response was, "Are you crazy? Like Nat King Cole, like his voice is so iconic and so specific. The idea of singing any Nat King Cole songs to me was like a non-starter." And he said, "No, no, no, it's a play. It's a play. It's a couple songs, little snippets here and there, but it's it's more a play." And once I found out that Daniel J. Watts was they had approached Daniel J. Watts to play Sammy Davis Jr., then my interest really started to get piqued because I was a big fan of Coleman, a big fan of Patricia, and a big fan of Daniel J. Watts. So I went and did the workshop, which is where we sat down and we read the script. And once I realized the story that they were telling, I was hooked because to be in the room with this level of genius in Patricia and Coleman and Daniel J. Watts, and to tell the story of Mr. Cole, to say these words, it was I was that was like the honey or the sticky glue that got me going on the journey because I love how they look back on this American icon. And it's set back in 1957 as we are leading up to the final episode, or we are, yeah, approaching the final episode of the Nat King Cole show. And they're looking back at that time, but really we're talking about where we are today. And I always feel if you're going to do historical pieces, you have to be willing to, it has to, in order for it to be relevant, it has to say something about where we are, in my mind. Otherwise, then what's the point? They say history repeats itself and you can always
Yeah.
learn from your yesterday. So the idea that we were pulling the layers back on this American icon and getting at the soul of who we are as a nation today, that really got me excited to be a part of it. And I get a chance to sing, obviously, with Mr. Cole's songs. I get a chance to do these phenomenal words of Patricia and Coleman, and I get a chance to do the amazing choreography of Jared Grimes. So, with Gregory Hines and Harold Nicholas and Hinton Battle being such big influences in my personal life and my artistic journey, the idea to be on stage doing all those things, this has all the things in one piece. So there was no way that I couldn't do it. So I'm truly honored to have been a part of this production.